You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It's the final game of the first leg of the Subway Series, and the Subway is pulling into the Bronx. And you know the deal, the same two teams going at it. People love it, and they usually fill the ballpark. As today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the New York Mets in the rubber game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with David Cohn and Outlighter. I'm Michael Kay. All three of us are thrilled to be here because there was some question yesterday whether we would be here. But we are here, and we're ready for baseball. Last night, the Yankees won, and they won because of the long ball. That seems to be a prevailing thought with them.
The Bronx Bombers were back. They have 70 home runs on the season, the most in Major League Baseball. A.J. Burnett struggled in the first inning. The Yankees were down 2-0. But Russell Martin, his 8th home run of the year, 2-run homer, tying the ball game. And then Mark Teixeira, his 12th, going the opposite way of Chris Capuano, his 12th home run of the year. Mets get a run 4-3, but how about this 0-2 pitch leading off the 6th. Granderson, his 15th home run of the season. And then in the same inning, Alex Rodriguez getting a solo home run, his 9th. Yankees end up winning 7-3. What an onslaught with the home runs for the Yankees.
And that's the difference, Al. Look, on Friday they couldn't score. They scored that one run, and that was on the home run by Teixeira. But yesterday, the 4 home runs, and the Yankees score a lot of runs when they do hit home runs. Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Mike Pelfrey's going to go for the Mets 3-3, but he's pitched better of late than his 5.11 ERA. Ivan Nova for the Yankees 4-3 with a 4.33 ERA. He had a big win for the Yankees on Tuesday.
Yeah, he did. And really, if you think about it, a lot of talk about Bartolo Colon, CC Sabathia. Since April 26th, this guy has got the best and the lowest ERA on the Yankees. 3-1 over his last 5 starts with a 2.54 ERA. Look at that curveball. When he gets that curveball down like that, that's a true 12-6er, like Al likes to call it. It's a strikeout pitch. His fastball moves all over the place. Ivan Nova with a little strut in his step, and he deserves it. He's been pitching really well lately.
And this is the rubber game of this 3-game set. Now, Derek Jeter did something yesterday that you might not expect of Derek Jeter. We'll talk about that record, or at least a number that he tied, next on Yes. Having a good day. That's David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay, and Al Leiter will rejoin us in just a moment. When you think about Derek Jeter, you know that he has the most hits in New York Yankee history. But yesterday, he did something and tied somebody that would maybe surprise you, right, David?
Well, it is a big surprise. If you think about it, all the talk about the 3,000 hit chase, as you said, everybody's waiting, trying to anticipate Jeter when he's going to get 3,000 hits. Guess what? That's number 326 on the stolen base chart. Ties him with Ricky Henderson for the #1 spot on the all-time stolen base leaderboard of the New York Yankees.
And he's up up on that board in a lot of categories. Games, he's second only to Mickey Mantle. Then you've got hits, doubles, second only to Lou Gehrig. You got the runs, he's third. Stolen bases, he's tied with Ricky for first on the all-time list. Not too bad. It certainly seems like the Hall of Fame is calling for Derek Jeter sometime in the future. When we come back, lineups, first pitch baseball. The Subway is back in town.
I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. Back in the New York groove.
On Yes is brought to you in part by Volvo. Pay nothing to repair or maintain your new Volvo for the first 5 years. Volvo for life. By Avis, the official rental car of the New York Yankees. And by the new definition of world class, the 2011 Buick LaCrosse. Kind of an overcast day, kind of a chill in the air as well for really late May, but we're ready for baseball here at the stadium. The Yankees have taken the field. Ivan Nova is taking his warm-ups. We're taking a look at the Mets starting lineup presented by Bank of America. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, will lead off. Batting second and playing first, Daniel Murphy. Carlos Beltran, the DH, hits third. Cleaning up and playing left field, Jason Bay. Fernando Martinez at right field. Justin Turner at second. Willie Harris is at third, hitting seventh. The number 8 hitter, the catcher, Ronnie Paulino. Jason Pridey in center field will bat ninth.
On the mound, Mr. Nova there. He's going to be making his 9th start of the year, coming off a win in Tampa. Very good start, ending a 6-game losing streak by the Yankees. Respectable numbers. 43 and 2/3 innings. See the 264 batting average against. Guy who throws a lot of strikes. Strikeouts not where you'd like it to be with a guy with a plus fastball. 24 strikeouts in the 4-3 innings.
Jose Reyes is ready, so is Nova. Let's do it. And the first pitch is a strike. We're underway.
Let's take a look at the G pitcher scatter report out of the gate. Great numbers. He only gave up 1 run in his first inning in 15 career starts. You talk about trust your stuff. When he does get in trouble, he starts aiming it like a lot of young pitchers. His curveball isn't as sharp, kind of rolls a little bit. His fastball's down. And oh, what a relief. He's got the best relief ERA of the guys coming out of the pen for him on the Yankee staff at 1.86.
Count 1-2. Mets won on Friday 2-1. The Yankees won last night 7-3. Mets had their 3-game winning streak snapped yesterday. They have won 10 of their past 15 games. Dribbled slowly right back to the mound. Nova will get Reyes. 1 away. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Gardner, Granderson, and Dickerson, as Swisher has a day off. That's left to right. Infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third and first. Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. And Ivan Nova is on the mound. Here's Daniel Murphy. The pitch is low, 1-0. Murphy had the big home run on Friday night. The difference in the game is the Mets won that one 2-1. Sliced down the left field line. Foul. Lights are on here at the stadium. It's been that sort of day. We have not seen the sun all morning. And it doesn't look as if we'll see it this afternoon either. But the rain is supposed to hold up. And the 1-1. Laced into left field. Gardner giving chase and makes the play. Good play by Gardner. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 58 degrees, humidity is high, wind not much, forecast is cloudy and cool.
Keep the rain away. Looks okay right now.
Here's Carlos Beltran. He is a DH today. And a strike to Beltran. Nova, when he feels good about his stuff, he's on the rubber ready to throw. Good pace. The 0-1. Now 0-2. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Missed outside. Home plate umpire is Eric Cooper. He'll be calling balls and strikes.
Careful with that. You don't want to be showing the umpire up. That ball looked like it was off the plate.
The 1-2. Nub foul.
You can really see in Nova's demeanor on the mound how confident he is. You know, we talked about it in the pregame show, and Kim Jones mentioned, you know, out of his last 5 starts, he's on a roll, 3-1. He's got a little swagger out there, Al. You kind of notice it, and that's a good thing. You know, I mean, you don't want to be too cocky, as you said. You don't want to show up umpires, but he's really changed his demeanor. He's a lot more confident on the mound, a lot more sure of himself. Coming out smoking today. His velocity's up a little bit in the first inning. A lot of strikes. Looks confident.
Well, but that you can go back to last year when he dusted Batista up in Toronto and kind of didn't back down. He has that. That's part of his being. Of being a confident guy. And he should. Look, he absolutely, what's coming out of his arm, 93, 94, that last pitch, a very good curveball. At times, great curveball. A real top to down, top bottom, 12-6 curveball.
Strike 3. Got him. Impressive first inning for Ivan Nova. The Mets go down in order 1-2-3. That's nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Ivan Nova now. Mike Pelfrey takes him out against this Yankee starting lineup. Presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second, playing center, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll hit third. Cleaning up, playing third base, Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano at second base will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing Jorge Posada. Brett Gardner, the left fielder, hits seventh. The number 8 hitter, right fielder Chris Dickerson. And Francisco Cervelli will catch. He's going to bat ninth.
Mike Pelfrey, probably legitimately the Mets ace with Johan Santana on the DL on the season. This will be his 10th start, 3-3. ERA's a little high, but he's been much better lately. 18 to 24 walks to strikeouts. We'll take a look at the G Pitcher Scout Report. 15-game winner last year. Really came into his own. He's 15-9 with a 3.66 ERA last year. Solid year. But on his career, he's no road warrior. He's in 09, or actually since 09, he's 10-16 on the road, and at home he's 8-18 with a 3.11 ERA. A big difference between home and away with his overall numbers. And lately, as we said, he's turning it around. His last 5 starts, he's 3-1 with a 2.76 ERA.
Pitch to Jeter. He swings at the first pitch and grounds it to second. Turner will get Jeter for the first out. Let's take a look at the Mets defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Bay, Pridey, and Martinez left to right. In the infield, Harris, Reyes, Turner, and Murphy third to first. Paulino behind the plate. Mike Pelfrey on the mound. There's Curtis Granderson, another home run yesterday. 15 home runs on the season for Granderson and 33 ribbies. And that's the best start of his career after 44 games.
Well, if there's ever a guy that's locked in and comfortable, it's Curtis Granderson in all of baseball. The numbers have been really off the chart. You go back to last August, he's right up there with Jose Bautista, most home runs in all of the game.
Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Another home run for Curtis Granderson. And the Yankees lead 1-0.
Just keeps riding it here. Gets a fastball, runs back in off the plate. He pulls his hands in. This is good hitting right here. This ball was on the inside corner, was able to get the barrel of the bat to the ball. You talk about somebody feeling comfortable. It's certainly Granderson, his 16th home run on the year. What a year so far.
First pitch to Teixeira out of the zone, 1-0. That one's fouled away. 18 home runs for Bautista. Curtis Granderson now with 16.
Well, that's what the Yankees envisioned when they got him last year, was a lot of these type of home runs at home. Yankee Stadium, obviously the short porch at right. You look at the stride out. This is a down and in sinker. It's running back to the barrel, almost ends up inner third, and he is lightning quick on the inner half.
Since the Yankees made a little bit of a change in Curtis Granderson's swing, keeping both hands on the bat, that was on August 14th of last year. Curtis now has 30 home runs, the second most in the majors over that span, behind Jose Bautista, who has 36. So that's how locked in he's been. And people talk about Bautista. How do we pitch him? How do we stop him? And Curtis Granderson is pretty much lockstep with him in terms of hitting home runs. The 1-2. Now, the year before the Yankees got him, he had 30 home runs in Comerica Park, which is a huge ballpark. Now, the home run by Granderson, the Yankees 71st, by far the most in the major leagues. That's the Delta League leaders. The Reds are next with 52, 19 fewer. Now, last year, Granderson got off to a bad start, ended up with 24 home runs. But 30 doesn't seem like such a far reach right now. Grounded sharply to first. Murphy will take it himself for the second out. If you're in Manhattan, head on over to Brother Jimmy's Barbecue at 116 East 16th Street right now to catch the final game of this rivalry series between the Yankees and the Mets. Here's Alex Rodriguez. He was a DH yesterday. Picked up a home run, his 9th of the year. 9 hits in his last 21 at-bats. That's right.
Looks like Alex getting out of that little cold spell that he had. The couple home runs off of James Shields down in Tampa has really helped turn him around these last few at-bats, as you say, Michael. I don't care what kind of play you are, big star, rookie, you struggle, you see the numbers go down, it becomes a mental thing. Even Alex Rodriguez fights it.
That includes the game that Al's talking about in the last 5, 409 average. So the Yankees lead 1-0 here, bottom of the first inning on the Granderson home run. Pelfrey deals the 1-2. Still 1-2.
Could see how pitching staff establishes how they pitch the opposing team, and here just every one of these pitches here from Pelfrey in on the hands, pounding the body line here and come back inside again. Have a consistent scouting report that you sit down with the pitching coach and figure out not only just how you're going to pitch them first at bat, but how you will change your plan as it goes along in the game.
Driven out to right field. A slicing foul.
You know, Al, as we were talking with the former Mets pitcher Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez over in the Mets booth about Pelfrey, and you know, in his career, even though he was a 15-game winner last year and has established himself as towards the front line of the Mets rotation, he's really not a strikeout guy. Just 412 strikeouts in 732 innings in his career. So these types of situations right here, as you see Ronnie and Mex right there, Keith Hernandez, and these type of situations, he has trouble putting hitters away, you know, as far as swing and miss type stuff. And you see this split here in the month of April. He really struggled, 1-3, but pitching much better lately. But you know, you see A-Rod just battling him. There's not that secondary pitch, that put away pitch that he's been able to develop. Even though his splitter has gotten better, and he's a solid major league pitcher, but trouble with finishing off hitters, trouble getting swings and misses.
Pelfrey deals. Grounded off the glove of Pelfrey. He slows it down. Charging is Turner. A-Rod gets an infield single.
We'll see A-Rod just battling, a little ricochet, little slider that Pelfrey tries to put him away with off his glove. Turner with a good effort. A-Rod runs well. You know, a lot of talk about A-Rod, maybe his hip bothering him a little bit. He got down the line nicely right there.
Smelling a hit. That's what he's feeling. That little ball dribbling out in front of him. Turner makes a nice little flip throw.
That's going to bring up Cano. Cano, 3 hits in his last 19 at bats.
We've seen early on home plate umpire Eric Cooper calling the low strike, Al, both for Ivan Nova and here for Pelfrey. So hitters are going to have to adjust. And if I'm a pitcher out there, I'm seeing that. I'm getting the ball down because he's calling the ball at the knees today so far.
The 0-1. Popped up. Shallow left center. Bay makes the play for the final out of the first. But the Yankees get on the board. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 man left. The big blow off the bat of Curtis Granderson. His 16th home run of the year. With that, the Yankees lead 1-0. did fights herself. Yankee cap, Met caps can't make up her mind. It's time for the Toyota text poll. Today's question is, aside from the Subway Series, which has been the best interleague matchup this weekend? You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Those are your choices: A's Giants, Cubs Red Sox, Rangers Phillies, Rays Marlins, and Reds Indians. Jason Bay swings and grounds one up the middle, a base hit. So Bay with a single open up the second. Now there was a lot to digest, so we'll give you another look.
There's one that stands out to me, Michael.
Which one?
We talked about it the other night. Number 2, the Cubs and Red Sox. First
1918?
time, yeah, since 1918.
So text your vote to 58772, and we'll find out how you feel later on in the game. 1-0 Yankees on Granderson's first inning home run. Here's F-Mark, Fernando Martinez. There's a strike.
Yeah, there's one curse that has been buried. The curse of the Bambino is now gone, but the curse of the Billy Goat is still there and alive and well and at Wrigley Field.
Popped up. Long run for Alex Rodriguez. Can't get there. Are there stories now? You know, the last time they met was in the 1918 series, and before the Red Sox won their World Series in 2004, the chant was 1918. But now there are rumors that the Cubs might have thrown that World Series in 1918. Yankees will be in Wrigley Field during interleague play this year. 3-game set. The 0-2. Still 0-2.
Michael, it's kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? It's, you know, if one World Series was thrown, you know, the time was right for others and other players possibly. And I guess that's the thinking. Is, you know, it wasn't just maybe the Black Sox.
Yeah.
Maybe there was more than meets the eye.
Why is it coming out now?
I guess there were some papers that were released that shows something. It was probably you know, somebody that was 2 years old at that point wants their money back from the series. The 0-2. 1-2.
Cervelli been doing a nice job keeping that ball in front of him. Jason Bay, not a great run. He's only got 2 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing. Obviously has to do everything possible to keep the ball in front of him. Good job.
A little deke there by Cervelli. See him look behind him like he missed the ball. Trying to trick the runner, Jason Bay.
The 1-2. Martinez hanging in there. Martinez is 22 years old, but he's trying to prove that he can stay healthy. Every time he's gotten a chance with the Mets, something's broken down. But with all the injuries the Mets are sporting right now, he's getting an opportunity. One, 2. 2-2.
Well, you know what? You also wonder, Michael, a good young prospect in Martinez. He brought up perhaps prematurely in 09 and struggled at 91 at bats, 176, and then last year, similar, not doing well, 167 batting average. And I think more than anything else, you get sent back and forth in AAA a couple of years, even though he's only 21 years old, 22. You start doubting yourself mentally.
Popped up, shallow center coming on. Granderson, he can't make the play. So a base hit for Fernando Martinez, first and second, nobody out.
We're going to give you the Mets team scouting report brought to you by Volvo. Early turnaround. You see Terry Collins, the Mets manager right there, really struggled early. They were 5-13 out of the gate. Since that point, they are 17-10. A big surprise around the league. Much more better baseball going on. All around team play. The kids can play a little bit. The big question with the Mets fans is the Reyes question. Should he stay or should he go? What's going to happen? He's a free agent. Everybody who's a Mets fan wants to know what they're going to do. The Mets' financial problems are well documented. It is a big decision for that organization. And the solid bullpen. They have been outstanding in the bullpen. Really, that is the reason why their turnaround has come about. K-Rod has really bounced back from his off-the-field problems and been lights out this year. The turnaround from J.C. Nisenhausen, what a reclamation project. And, of course, the young kid from Queens, Pedro Beato, a young flamethrower with great stuff. His 18 scoreless innings going into this game today.
That one's tapped right back to Nova. He has one play. He makes it at first to retire Justin Turner. And the runners move up to second and third. Hasn't exactly been a hard-hit ball in this inning. But Nova's got himself a little bit of a jam here, second and third, with one man out. Willie Harris, one for his last 10. Yankees in at the corners and back at second and short. There's a strike.
You think as a pitcher here, Von Nova, you want to get early in the count. If you can get 0-2-1-2, you have an opportunity to strike out. Obviously, Willie Harris trying to get a ball up in the zone, at least get the ball to the outfield, tie this ball game up.
Hot shot up the middle. It's a base hit. Bay scores. Martinez was heading back to second, so he just advances to third. It's an RBI single for Harris. Game tied at 1.
We talked about the Mets and their resurgence. The line drive, you see runner at second's got to make sure it gets through. He maybe overread that a little bit. The line drive up the middle. He probably could have got a better read, but nonetheless, Willie Harris with a nice piece of hitting, fights off an inside fastball and shoots a line drive right back up the box.
Here's Ronnie Paulino, got off to a great start, but now one for his last 13. Yankees looking for a double play. Paulino had problems just getting to the Mets, visa problems. Then once he got here, he had to serve the remainder of his suspension from last year. Then he had some health issues as well. But he's actually been a very good player for them since finally making the big club. Signed as a free agent during the offseason.
Paulino working the count, put himself in a position to get a fastball, even though one out. Willie Harris, pretty good runner, caught stealing 3 times. He's got 1 stolen base. There's a throw over there. That side.
Follow the New York Yankees with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text that back to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. Two 2-0. 2-1. So a home run by Granderson in the bottom of the first inning gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. Now a single by Bay, a single by Martinez, and a single by Harris. Well, all 3 of those tied up this game, and the Mets looking for more in front of a big house here at Yankee Stadium. Right back to Nova. He mishandles it, lost the double play. And because of that, Martinez scores, and the Mets lead 2-1. Willie Harris will move to second.
Well, as a pitcher, you get so excited you realize the double play ball back to you. You're out of the inning. It looks like he over jumped, and the ball ended up hitting him on the heel. But once that happened, having to get the short out, and Polino, this is an easy comeback or a little 1-6-3 double play. Getting out of the inning, you see he just bobbled it. I think he just over anticipated. There's an excitement level. You know you're getting this ball back to you. You got a chance to get out of the inning. Just didn't get it done.
There's Jason Pridey. And there's a strike. And the count quickly 0-2.
Well, all these lefties, David, it looks like they're aware of the curveball coming in, but all the fastballs away. You're looking at this approach left field. Gardner made a heck of a play in the first inning off Murphy. Fastball away, stay on it, go the other way, and look for the curveball coming into him.
Well, that's exactly right, Al. As you see, even Terry Collins, as you see, no, he did not go on the check from Cervelli. Good curveball by Nova there, but, you know, we'll get another look here from the side. Definitely checked his swing, no doubt about it. But, you know, Terry Collins, the manager of the Mets, talked about it. They're really station-to-station baseball. We've seen it here in this inning, base hit here, blooper there. Other than Beltran and maybe Jason Bay, you know, it's pretty much station-to-station. You've got to manufacture some runs and play small ball.
Line drive, right field, the base hit. Willie Harris rounds third. Here he comes. The throw from Dickerson is cut off. It's an RBI single for Pridey, and the Mets lead 3-1.
Nova went to the changeup after the fastball away, fouling it off Pridey. This is a changeup up in the zone, not having downward bite, kind of floats away. Able to, because of the lack of velocity, he's able to pull that ball. Good line drive swing from Pridey. Dickerson trying to make a good throw, ends up short hopping. Teixeira wouldn't have got him at home plate anyway.
I would bring the pitching coach out, Larry Rothschild. And, you know, Al, you know this too. I mean, with Nova, his changeup is really his third best pitch, more of a fastball count pitch, not a finish pitch. You see, in that situation, there's not much margin for error, and a lefty with not much power, you're just going to speed up his bat. You end up giving up an easy single there, going to your third best pitch in a strikeout situation.
Yeah, you know, in a 1-2-0-2 count, you're thinking whatever the pitch is that is in your arsenal that you can have a swing and miss. That's the one to go to. I don't care if you throw 2-3 curveballs in a row.
Runner goes, throw to second. Goes into center field. Pridey heads to third. The throw from Granderson not in time. So a stolen base and an E2.
You see a little puzzled look on the face of Francisco Cervelli, who comes up firing. It looks like a good throw, maybe a little sink at the end. Looked like Derek Jeter got handcuffed and whipped it. Well, that ball's close. It's not really. It's kind of a tweener, like he was gonna arrive there in the air. No, Jeter just didn't get the glove down. Cervelli's right. The throw was there on time, and Jeter just maybe a little late sink on that ball at the end. He just kind of missed it.
0-1 to Reyes. 96 miles an hour. He dials it up.
Cervelli with the high three-quarter two-seam grip and a little sink at the end. Wow, that ball darted down at the end, but nonetheless a good throw and a ball that Jeter will tell you he should have handled.
Missed outside. into center field. Granderson is there, and that'll do it. But the Mets get 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. We played an inning and a half, 3-1 Mets. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Acela Express. Enjoy the journey. This is the final game of this set. Then the Blue Jays come to town Monday and Tuesday night, and then Wednesday afternoon a matinee before the Yankees head out west. A 9-game, 11-day road trip out west. 3 against Seattle, 3 against Oakland, 3 against the Angels. All of them on yes. Jorge Posada will lead off against Pelfrey. And a strike. Count 1-1. Posada 7 hits in his last 21 at bats. The average at 178. The count 2-1. Pelfrey had to assume the role of ace when Johan Santana went down. Maybe not that comfortable with that role, but he's their best pitcher stuff-wise. Got off to a bad start, but he's had 3 straight quality starts. Drilled deep to right field. But foul. Oh, did he crush that?
Jorge still be able to turn on a fastball. I know it's been a struggle for him. Seems like maybe he's turned around a little bit down in Tampa, Baltimore. And this is a fastball, inner half, just got to it too quickly, wrapped the barrel around. You want to see he's trying to bend it back fair. This ball way up there. Ooh, wow, sweet.
Well, Granderson already has a home run. And among active pitchers with at least 725 innings pitched, Pelfrey has allowed the 5th fewest home runs. 57, so he doesn't usually give up the long ball, and he does pitch in Citi Field, which is cavernous. That helps him out a bit. Foul back.
David gave the splits and no road warrior. No question about it. The home Citi Field helps. 18-8.
Just 12 home runs at Citi Field since 09, 26 on the road. So Citi Field, the pitchers probably love. The hitters, not too thrilled. 3-2. Again fouled away. The next pitch will be the 9th of the at-bat.
Well, when you look at Pelfrey, and I know, David, you were talking about it. You talk about a guy, he's 27 years old, he was #1 pick in 2005 out of Wichita State, 9th pick overall. You get to a point where your stuff gets you to a level to where that's your God-given ability. 15 wins last year clearly was his best year, but yet still hasn't figured out how to pitch.
Posada works a walk.
He wanted that. Turned his back to home plate umpire. Didn't want him to read lips. Eric Cooper. Let's see if this ball gets the inside corner. What do you think, David?
Well, there's a little bit of movement on the catcher's glove. Catcher setting up on the inside corner, and see him just reach just a bit on the over. And anytime, that's what Eric Cooper's looking at. He's setting up right over the catcher's shoulder, looking at the target, and there's a little movement with the glove to reach in to catch the ball. A lot of times you won't get the call when that happens. Very close. If I'm on the mound, I probably want that pitch without a doubt. Posada has a good eye. He's a veteran guy. Sometimes sometimes those veteran hitters get those calls as well.
Here's Brett Gardner. That one's drilled deep to right field. Fair ball. It's a tie game. Foul ball.
We've seen Brett Gardner with a little happy zone down and in, and he finds it. And for the second time this inning, narrowly missing a home run. Saw Posada launch one in the sweet level before, and this one's even closer as you get the look.
A lot of body English going on. Grounded to Reyes. He steps on the bag and just gets one.
Smart play from Reyes, obviously, with Brett Gardner's great speed. Unless it was a hard two-hopper right at him, maybe he has a shot, even though Reyes has got a tremendous arm. That ball just skipping to him. Get the force out. Plenty of time to get Posada.
Now Pelfrey will face Chris Dickerson. Scary moment for Dickerson on Wednesday night in Baltimore. Mike Gonzalez, the lefty, on the mound. Shattered the helmet, raised a knot over the left eye, or on the side of the left eye. Had a slight concussion, but he's okay.
Crazy game, Michael. You down there?
That was right after Robbie Cano had picked up the big 2-run double. Didn't seem like he was doing it on purpose. Gonzalez, who's had a lot of trouble all year, and actually apologized to Dickerson the next day behind the batting cage. High pop-up. Turner, Murphy, Martinez. Martinez makes the call on the catch.
Plenty of hang time on that. Martinez, plenty of speed to get to that little triangle down there. Second baseman going out, first baseman is absolutely the right fielder's ball with all that time for his speed to get underneath it.
That's going to bring up Francisco Cervelli. 3-1 Mets lead. Yankees with a run in the first. Mets with 3 in the second. We're in the bottom of the second. Cervelli, 3 hits in 12 at-bats in his last 12. Gardner inches off of first, held there by Murphy. Quick throw over, and Gardner dives back. Boy, there have been a couple of close plays for the Mets at first base where if Murphy was a left-handed first baseman, they'd probably get him. He's going to swing the glove around rather than just drop it down. Line to left field. Bay will make the play for the final out of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 2, Mets 3, and the Yankees 1. It's time for this moment in Yankees history, brought to you by Johnny Walker. We go back to World Series Game 5. Yankees defeat the Mets 4-2 to win their 3rd straight World Series title. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Those are not great memories for you, Al.
Which one?
This one right here.
Oh, man. Is this Louis Soho? Of course it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's where it rolls, huh, David? You were in that game, huh?
No, the previous game.
Game before.
Daniel Murphy serves a single to left field.
Sometimes the game's just not fair, right, Al? I mean, you had a heroic effort in that game.
Thanks,
It was fun to watch. You just battle and grind that game out. You deserved a better fate, undoubtedly. And you know what? After that game, we won that World Series. I spent a little time with Johnny Walker, so that was the Johnny Walker moment of the day.
See the Lincoln scoreboard, 3-1 Mets over the Yankees. Grounded to Teixeira. They get 1 on to first, and it gets past Nova, but backing up is Cervelli. So that's 3-6 on the fielder's choice.
Tough play for any pitcher to get back. You have to get to the bag and not worry about the shortstop's going to flip and throw a firm strike to you. It was off the bag there. Derek pulling Nova off the line. But see, now you start hunting for the base. It's very difficult. It actually is very lucky if you actually catch the ball and find the bag. Teixeira getting the lead runner. Firm throw. A little bit down. Derek pulling Nova off. Cervelli backing up. No harm, no foul.
Now Girardi had just gone out to talk to the first base umpire, Mark Carlson. I'm not sure about why. Hits to Jason Bay as a strike.
Sometimes in those plays, and maybe we get a shot at the replay, that the runner anticipates the ball kicking away and they make an effort to go to second base. Can't do that. If you do, you get called out on a tag.
Bay singled to center in the second inning, and he's a .331 lifetime hitter against the Yankees with 6 home runs in 127 at bats. And now that number goes up. So first and second with 1 out.
Well, just trying to figure out, okay, the ball is thrown up the line. Nova reaching for it. Let's see if we see any. See the little turn in. Let's see what happens here if he turns up. Nah, that's used to be you had to actually physically peel to the right, but now it's an umpire's discretion as to actually the effort that you apply to either go to second base or not.
Hits to Martinez as a strike. So Jason Bay picks up the 6th hit against Nova.
That last curveball to Bay, just rolling up there. You get a 0-1 count. Put yourself in a position to bury the breaking ball. This is sometimes where Nova, some of his inconsistency is not on the page either with Cervelli. Shaking off a lot. Very uncomfortable as a pitcher. If you're not on the same page, here comes Larry Rothschild. One, it shows you're doubting yourself. You know, the hitters see it, they step out. I know, David, you were a guy, you actually taught me in Toronto when we were teammates about working fast. Aside from the obvious, your defense is sharper. The umpires like it. There's been a lot of shaking here between Cervelli and Nova.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
You know, Ivan Nova doesn't really feature a lot of pitches. It's basically fastball, curveball, occasional changeup. And they need to get on the same page here and get their rhythm back in sync like he did when he started this game off so ready and so aggressively.
Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Jeff Kellogg.
He's on 1 changeup. And you're right, David. It's primarily fastball curve. I would say just from looking at the chart here, he's probably 70% fastballs.
The 1-1. There's a strike. Check swing.
Surprised they didn't go over the check there. Looked like a little half swing. Sometimes, you know, with a ball in the dirt, the catcher's not able to see it. Look at the check. Just a little swing here, David. Oh, I'll beg it.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Climb the ladder with the fastball. Martinez went up there with him.
Well, we've seen that Nova's got a 4-seam fastball, and you see this one kind of riding up and in. His fastball does something different every time. Sometimes it runs, it looks like a sinker, 2-seamer. This one with a lot of life in a good location, up and into a left-handed hitter, above the letters on the inner half.
Hard to lay off, too, especially 4 previous pitches, all curveballs.
Nova's got that natural life to his fastball. It's just sort of a gift. Does something different every time.
Here's Justin Turner. 8-game hitting streak. Broke a Met record yesterday with an RBI. 7 straight games as a rookie with an RBI. And that broke the record previously held by Ron Swoboda. As you can see from that graphic, only the second player in the last 50 years to do that. The other one was Ryan Braun. The 2-0. Nova does not have the command that he had in his previous start, his previous couple of starts. Doesn't seem as if he has bad stuff, but the command is not quite there. Strike. Now, he had a real good start against Tampa Bay, then a bad one to Kansas City. Before that, 2 good starts against Texas and Toronto. One against Kansas City, 3 innings and 10 hits. Grounded to third. Alex Rodriguez is there, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. Curtis Granderson's coming up. Never know with him. 16 home runs. He already has 1 in the first inning. Yankees trail 3-1. Has come off the bat of Curtis Granderson, and that leads us to the IOTV HD Super Shot. And what a difference a year makes, Al.
You got that right, 16 home runs. But look where his hands are now. The one on the right is today. This is last year on the left. A lot of movement last year. Look at his hands loading. His hands are already back on the right side, which was today. His base is wider. The movement toward home plate a little bit more last year. And then watch this, most importantly. Both hands on the bat as he's able to finish, get more power through the ball, as opposed to last year where there was a lot of one-handed swings. The adjustment made. Now, part of that little rip right there, David, you had Kevin Long in the back. The background of that integral part of the change for Curtis Granderson. I just think it's a great story that you have a guy around a long time like Granderson, 30 home run season, struggled enough to not only just tweak it a little bit. That's a radical change when you move in your hands and widen your base, and finish in your swing finish.
Jeter with a base hit up the middle.
yes, Salad. It's shorter, it's quicker. Granderson's swing, using his wrist and his hands much better, much like Derek Jeter on this last swing. You know, Jeter's getting better and better. He's driving the ball, getting back to the old Derek Jeter swing. Use the hands and wrists, shorter, quicker, getting to the ball much better now. Leading with the knob of the bat, getting the barrel to the ball, right back up the middle.
Here's Granderson. Pitch is low, 1-0 on the Lincoln scoreboard. 3-6-0 for the Mets, 1-3-1 for the Yankees. The one off the bat of Curtis Granderson, his 16th home run of the year, his 34th run batted in. Curtis has averaged a home run every 11.1 at bats this season. That's the second best ratio in the major leagues to Jose Bautista.
2 split fingers in a row. Changeup from Pelfrey. Let's see if he gets a fastball here. He does.
.4% of the Yankee runs this season have come via the home run. Highest percentage in the leagues. Diamondbacks are second at 38.3%. Joe Girardi was asked about that before the game. He said, I don't care how we score runs. He said, I've gotten this question so much. He said, I don't care if we have to kick field goals. As long as we put points on the board, I don't care how they come. Three and one.
Well, you know what? That makes good copy, and certainly I can understand the manager, Joe Girardi's frustration with that question over and over again, but it's a legitimate question. And the consistency is really what has been lacking in the offense. Even though they lead the league in runs scored and they're bashing home runs day in and day out, they need to have more ways to score runs other than the home run.
And you know what? I couldn't agree with you more. And of course, Joe should be positive about, you know, look, you've got the most home runs in baseball, as you just said, David. There's another element to when you face a club and you know that there's 2 or 3 different ways a team can beat you, whether it's speed, small ball, moving runners over, hit and run. There's another aspect to the offense other than just waiting for the home run. Not to say the Yankees are waiting for home runs, which is probably the frustration from Girardi.
Runner goes, fly ball to center field. Friday is there for the first out. So it's 3-1 Mets here in the bottom of the third inning. Hey, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. So they get Granderson on the fly ball to center, and here is Mark Teixeira. Fouled out.
Just to finish up with on that point we were talking about, Al, with Joe Girardi and his comments about I don't care how we score runs and all the questions about the home runs. The reason being that you need to be more versatile is because against good pitching in big games, you are not going to get those home runs. You are not going to get those pitches. A guy like CC Sabathia or frontline starters are going to shut you down in that department. You better find other ways to score runs and scratch them out, getting back to the grinded out Yankees of the past that really wore down starting pitchers and got into the bullpen quicker.
Especially early in the game. You apply the pressure against a good pitcher, you can push a couple runs early.
Popped up left side. Reyes puts it away for the second out. Now, yesterday was a weird game. The Yankees won 7-3, and it was the first game during the live ball era in which the Yankees scored 7 or more runs without leaving a runner on base. That's right. Last night's game was the first this season in which the Yankees didn't draw a walk either. So they did not leave a runner on. They did not draw a walk. Here's Alex Rodriguez. It is strange because we talk about the fact that they have been less than great with runners in scoring position, but they lead the league in runs. but they're just not getting the big hits. But the home runs are allowing them to score the runs necessary to compete. They're 24-20. Alex singled off the glove of Mike Pelfrey in the first inning, hitting .435 over his last 6 games. Average up to .272, 9 homers, 25 ribbies. Chases a pitch up in the zone, kind of a weird swing by Alex. He goes down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We played 3 in the Bronx. Mets lead the Yankees 3-1. Here's the question. Who was the only pitcher to win 2 games in the 2000 World Series? 2 games.
Killing me.
Well, we can eliminate you from that because the Mets only won 1 game overall. And David didn't start.
I tried to steal Denny Nagel's win.
Right?
Yes.
That was something.
Was that fun for you, or was that nerve-wracking, David, coming in just to face Piazza?
That was pretty nerve-wracking, but I was very thankful just to have a chance to pitch in that Subway Series after obviously playing for the Mets all the years I did.
Willie Harris with a single right. He's 2 for 2. Was Nagel chapped?
Nagel was more than chapped. I mean, he was 1 out from qualifying for a World Series win with nobody on base.
And it was 1-0. Right?
He had the lead. Yes, I mean
I don't think he gave up a run.
Well, Piazza had some good at bats on him. I do believe, yeah, he did give up a run. I think Piazza had taken him deep and then just missed taking him deep twice. You know, hit 1 foul. And Piazza was really locked in on Nagel. But Denny pitched well that game.
Now, I can't speak for Joe Torre, but from the outside looking in, it didn't look like Joe Torre was Denny Nagel's biggest fan.
Apparently not. But, you know, the thing is that that's the way Joe Torre managed. You know, he did not play favorites. If he thought there was a move to be made, he made it. You can even go back to sitting Tino Martinez back against the Braves in the World Series of '96 and playing Cecil Fielder and sitting Wade Boggs and putting Charlie Hayes at third base. And, you know, he wasn't afraid to ruffle some feathers and make the moves that he thought was necessary.
popped up. Cano. One away. Now we just looked it up, Al. Nagel had already given up a 2-run home run to Piazza in that game.
There you go. I was wrong. But it was a good. He
pitched okay. It was 3-2 when they brought in David.
Yeah, and Joe Torre had told me before the game that he had Piazza in mind for me because I'd had decent success against Mike, and I could still drop down and throw some Laredo sliders and, you know, be fairly effective against right-handed hitters, even though at that point in my career I wasn't throwing very hard.
Now you, that was official scorer's decision that you could have gotten the win.
I could have gotten the win, but I think Jeff Nelson came in after me and ended up getting the win, I believe, and he was very effective too. He pitched a little longer. I just got one out, and I was going to stay in that game, but my at-bat came up, and Jose Canseco ended up pinch hitting for me in that particular, the next inning, the next half inning.
Well, even though I was on the losing end of it, I thought the whole experience of a real Subway Series was something I'll never forget. Again, I know it was on the losing side. What an exciting time for New York baseball.
It was incredible, Al, and I can't wait to see the next one. I mean, I don't know when it's going to match, when the stars will align and we'll match up and see the Mets and the Yankees in contention for another World Series. But I can't wait to see it because it was, for New York baseball fans, just a tremendous, exciting time.
Travel was great. Well, would you agree, David, what a lot of members of the Yankees from that year said, that was a joyless World Series for the Yankees, where it was more relief than elation when you won?
You know, I've heard that before. You have to understand the Yankees of the 90s. You know, when you win 4 out of 5 years, that's an incredible run. So you felt like if you lost to the Mets, somehow your run is invalidated, or not so much invalidated that you didn't put the stamp on that particular run. You've got a chance to be a dynasty. You know, if we would have lost in 2000, not that it would have diminished the other championships, but it certainly would not have solidified our status as the team of the 90s, or a sort of mini dynasty, so to speak.
2-1.
So in that sense, there was pressure, and of course the pressure from the owner, George Steinbrenner, sitting in the clubhouse all 3 games at Shea Stadium and really being so involved in that series. So some of the players really felt the pressure that if we lost to the Mets in the Subway Series, that changes would be made.
(3-1) and Priddy walks. So it's runners on first and second with 1 out. Here's Jose Reyes.
Well, let's take a look at the Home Depot hitters scout report. David mentioned it as the team report. Will he stay? I think that is the big question. First thing I think of Jose Reyes is he's a pending free agent. Will he be a Met next year? Will he be a Met after July 31st? Electric player. This guy, when he's healthy, it's really fun to watch. He leads Major League Baseball in hits, his stolen bases. You talk about a guy going from first to third or a triple, that kind of excitement. He's already made some great plays defensively. And I mentioned the injuries. Last year, 133 games. 2009, he only played in 36 games.
Mr. Reyes outside.
And I know you guys know this, but when he is healthy and plays with the enthusiasm of a very athletic baseball player, he's as fun to watch as anybody in the game.
Let's see if they can turn 2 on the speedy Reyes. There's 1, and there's 2. A hot shot off the bat of Reyes turned into a 4-6-3 double play. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 3-1 Mets. Built on trusted G Capital. We prove that every day.
Oh, that partner play. Hot smash up of Jose Reyes' bat. A little two-hopper right to Robinson Cano. A patented 4-6-3 double play. Nice little shovel pass to Derek Jeter. Getting Jason Pridey at second and easily getting Jose Reyes at first.
Robinson Cano will lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. 3-7-0 Mets, 1-3-1 for the Yankees. Cano, Posada, and Gardner against Pelfrey. And the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Turner gets Cano, 1 pitch, 1 out. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Who was the only pitcher to win 2 games in the 2000 World Series? The answer is Mike Stanton.
You knew that? You know, I knew it was one of the relievers. I thought maybe Jeff Nelson or Mike Stanton, but Mike Stanton, both of those guys came up so big in countless appearances for the Yankees throughout the 90s in the playoffs and World Series. Kind of unsung heroes, that Yankee bullpen. Mike Stanton was a big part of that.
Here's Posada. Lined in the left center field. It is a base hit. Pridey cuts the ball off. Posada's going for 2. He's out. Well, Posada saw Pridey circle the ball, thought he had a chance at 2.
He did. Pridey with a good throw. Posada a little froggy, feeling good about it. Laces a potential double in the gap. But Pridey easily with a dead-on throw. The glove is waiting. And then the tag.
Well, off the bat, especially from our vantage point where Pridey was playing, that ball was slicing away from him. Good play for him to get to it. Obviously, Jorge not having the fast speed, the speed of a base runner.
A good swing by Posada nonetheless. Driving the ball the other way. See, Posada's been swinging the bat much better recently. Right on that ball. Lets the ball travel in, laces it, kind of a slicing double, potential double. Well, maybe not a double.
Count 1-1 to Gardner. Gardner reached on a fielder's choice grounder to Reyes in the second. He missed a game-tying 2-run home run by a couple of feet to the right of the right field foul pole.
Swinging much better. Brett Gardner also hitting lefties as well.
And we have a little bit of a scoring change, excuse me, Al. In the second inning, when the Mets scored the 3 runs, we had an error that was charged to Cervelli. And they've now changed that to an error on Jeter. They took a look at the ball, thought it was a pretty well-thrown ball, tailed it a little bit, and Derek didn't put a glove on it.
Well, you said it, David. It was a ball that I could guarantee Derek would say he should have had.
I think John Flaherty, our colleague, probably called in from Rockland County to the scorekeeper, defending his catcher.
I think he's in the studio.
You can almost hear him screaming from Rockland County here. Oh, he's in the studio. Okay. Bob Lorenz's office said, that's right. Flashes up in the studio in Stamford.
Gardner strikes out looking, looks back at home plate umpire Eric Cooper. Now we go to the 5th inning. Mets 3, Yankees 1 right here against 3-1 Mets lead. Murphy, Beltran, and Bay against Nova. Pitch inside. Foul back. Murphy with the big home run in Friday's game. That was the difference in the game, 2-1. R.A. Dickey pitched 6 innings, and then the Met bullpen took over and really was perfect against the Yankees. The 1-1. Murphy getting a lot of playing time now with the injury to Ike Davis. Murphy and Turner kind of splitting time at second, but now Murphy pretty much the everyday first baseman until Davis gets back, the 2-1. Davis is working out low-impact workouts down in Florida. He's working out in the pool. He has a calf injury, which really take a long time, it seems. High fly ball left field. Gardner. 1 out. Come to Yankee Stadium this Tuesday, May 24th, for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. The first 20,000 guests in attendance receive a Yankees grass seed planter with a packet of actual Yankee Stadium grass seed mix that you can grow at home courtesy of Scott's. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Beltran takes a strike.
I think when you look at the Mets, it starting with Terry Collins, their manager, with just a new enthusiasm and excitement to everybody around that clubhouse. But I look at Daniel Murphy, kind of epitomizes what's gone on with the Mets and the way they play now. Just kind of grind it out. You talk about Justin Turner, Michael, has really been a nice addition to this club. Wait for David Reyes to come, or David Wright to come back. And just kind of a grinded out club. I know you got Beltran up. Who knows what's going to happen with him? We talked about Reyes. I believe this is a club that absolutely, you mentioned in the team report, David, that it's a transition. They don't really know what the future lies. It's a day-to-day kind of feel. But that guy right there, Terry Collins, it's been a very positive move with him being the manager. And it's not just words. And talk to everybody in that clubhouse, and the players and whatnot, to cover the club, the media. They really like what he's brought on.
Grounded to first. 2 outs.
Well, I think the chain of command is well established from the previous generation of administrators with the Mets. And going back to Omar Minaya as the GM, and of course Jerry Manuel, even back to Willie Randolph, the former Yankee great, as the manager of the Yankees. Now you've got Sandy Alderson in place. And of course, Terry Collins was in the minor league system, so he knows their system very well. So they definitely have the chain of command in place. They're going to get a good look at all their young players. They're going to take inventory of their minor league system and find out what they have, and then make some big decisions on their free agents.
Dribbled slowly to third, kicks foul. Well, they got off to such a bad start that you figured that this would be an historically bad season for the Mets. They were 5-13 and look bad doing it, but since then they have played very well, and they're 1 game under 500, 22-23, and they're doing it essentially with half of a team that a month ago was the Buffalo Bison team, the Mets AAA affiliate. And sometimes you need those hungry players to turn around a clubhouse.
8 of their 25-man roster, Michael, had started out in Buffalo. And as you say, I think there's something infectious about that, realizing, okay, where are we going? What's the future? Well, I know one thing. If I'm one of the 25 players on the club, I'm going to do what I have to show either this major league team or other major league teams that I'm worthy.
The former second baseman for the Mets, Tim Tuffle's now the manager in AAA in Buffalo, and he talked about the feeling within the organization, top to bottom through the minor leagues, that
what they have in place now and the decision making that's being made really sends a positive signal up and down through the system that you do your job in the minor leagues, you will be given an opportunity with the Mets now, and definitely in a rebuilding phase now.
Count 2-2 on Bay. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. Rubber game of this 3-game set. And the pitch.
No, Michael, it's almost like we're talking about the Mets like they're a small market now, you know, with the obvious problems they've had and uncertainty with ownership and potential new ownership coming in, or at least partial ownership.
Right back up the middle. Cano had him play beautifully and gets paid for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. We played 4.5. We're halfway through. Mets up by 2. And the question, aside from the Subway Series, which has been the best interleague matchup this weekend, you've been voting at 58-7-7-2, and here are the results. 53% say it's the Cubs and the Red Sox, followed by the Rangers and the Phillies. Chris Dickerson takes low. 3-7-0 for the Mets, 1-4-1 for the Yanks.
It's almost June, right, guys?
Yes.
Look at all the jackets, coats, and chilly.
Yeah, I can't wait to make the West Coast trip to go to Seattle, get a little sunshine.
Dickerson hammers one to right center. It's a base hit. It'll split the outfielders and go to the wall. Dickerson will stop that second with a double.
Pelfrey running the sinker away, and Dickerson on it, head down, covers it. Outside corner. Excellent play coverage from Dickerson. Hooking type swing into the gap. Easily by the outfielders. Well, that's good extension. Stand-up double. His first double as a Yankee.
Here's Francisco Cervelli. These are the situations where the Yankees have faltered this year. Runners in scoring position. Can they get this guy in? Bunted foul. I don't know about bunting there. You're down by 2. You're playing for 1 run here in the 5th inning. I don't think it was called from the bench. And I know Cervelli is thinking, well, I want to move the runner over, but, well, then you're kind of eliminating the chance of a big inning. You're giving an out away.
Especially early in the count, you know. Pelfrey's not really a strikeout type guy, so you're going to get plenty of chances to shoot the ball to the right side.
Now the count 0-2.
Well, as that all plays out, as a pitcher, you absolutely know the strategy of what the hitter's trying to do. Of course, you'd like to drive a ball to right center field, get an RBI, but the productive out would be to hit a ground ball to right side. Pelfrey twice. Ronnie Polino, the catcher, pounded the inside corner. Tough to fight off to hit the ball to right side.
So that stat with runners on base in his last 3 starts, Pelfrey 1 for 23. Pretty good. The 0-2. You see Cervelli trying to punch in the other way. And why it's preferable to try to shoot it that way rather than bunt it, you shoot it that way, you can get a base hit. And it's rare that they'll mishandle the bunt. (3-1) Mets lead the Yankees, bottom of the 5th. Dickerson leads off with a double. He's there. Nobody out. Strike 3. Cervelli doesn't get it done. He's down looking.
Looks like a good pitch to me, Al. You see the running movement right back to the outside corner. Borderline. Too close to take. Might have got the front edge. I want that pitch. You're going to see it's definitely high enough. Almost thigh high. No question on the height. The front right edge of the outside corner. Cervelli may not like it, but I guarantee you if he caught this pitch on the other end, he would want it called a strike.
Well, when he looks at that replay, his reaction seemed as though it was about 4 or 5 inches outside. That was right on the corner. I agree with you. I think that was a good call from Eric Cooper.
Here's Derek Jeter. Strike. Jeter grounded to second in the first inning on the first pitch of the inning, and then singled to center.
The backup slider looked like a good pitch. Derek getting the call there. Pelfrey's pounding the zone, getting in good pitcher counts early on. Of the 19 batters he's faced, 16 of them he's gotten strike 1. Doubled up, David, on that front door slider. Ball thrown at the hip of the right-handed batter, just getting the inside corner. You just throw a few of those in.
Yeah, you know, it's a much more popular pitch, you know, recently. It used to be 20 years ago, that was a dangerous pitch. Kind of the bail and whale era of hitting, where guys would step in the bucket and launch that pitch. Nowadays, guys are diving and hooking, and it's a very effective pitch over the inside corner.
Dribbled slowly to Reyes for the second out as Dickerson moves to third. Today's Yankee Game on Yes is being brought to you in part by Corona Light, the imported light beer that refreshes your party spirit. Corona Light, it only gets better. The view from dead center as Curtis Granderson digs in. Granderson, his home run in the first inning, the only run for the Yankees. So now Dickerson moves to third with 2 men out.
First at bat, Granderson saw a fastball strike. Next pitch, he deposited in the seats. Then there was a couple splits. He saw 3 splits in his second at bat. First pitch here, Pelfrey, slider. See if he gets a fastball away here. So that's just enough run. That's not really a sinker, but a ball that's tailing away from the lefty that has enough life on the ball. Hard to square up, especially if you're pulling off.
Count 2-1. Two for 4 against Pelfrey, but both of them home runs. Grounded sharply to first. Murphy steps on the bag, so the leadoff double is wasted. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We've played 5. The New York Groove shows New York 3, New York 1, but it's the Mets 3 and the Yankees 1 as we go to the 6th. And Fernando Martinez takes high from Ivan Nova. Nova has pitched well except for that rocky second inning. Right now, that's holding up. Hey, yesterday we find out that Gary Carter, Hall of Famer, catcher for the Mets, going through some tough medical times right now. He's got a road ahead of him. And we want to send out our best wishes. And I know, David, that you threw a lot of your games to Gary Carter.
I did. Gary Carter was there my rookie year in 1988 when I went 20-3 as a Mets. And Gary Carter was behind the plate for a majority of those games and really taught me a lot early in my career. A class act, a Hall of Fame catcher. His wife, Sandy, one of the nicest ladies, baseball wives you'll ever meet. Very involved in charities around the country.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit for Martinez.
Certainly my heart goes out to the Carter family, and certainly wishing Gary Carter well. Hope his prognosis works out well, and he gets healthy soon.
Yeah, I certainly expressed the same thing. Haven't been around Gary through the years with the Mets, and just always that whole kid smile and nice man. Certainly wish him all the luck through what he's going to be having to go through.
Here's Justin Turner, runner on second. Check that runner on first, nobody out. This could be two. There's one. There's two. And around the horn, 5-4-3. Time for the game summary, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Let's see how this breaks down. It's 3-1. Mets leading the Yankees 3-8-0, leading 1-5-1. Granderson, the Yankee run, a 15th home run of the season in the first inning. Pelfrey's pitched 5 innings, walked 1, struck out 3. And Willie Harris 2 for 2 for the Mets with a ribby and a run scored. And here is Willie Harris. Pitch is high. Willie had been 1 for 10 coming into this game, now 2 for 2. And Willie raised his average from 203 to 222, so a 19-point jump with the 2 hits. And now he's 3 for 3. Just got past the diving Teixeira.
Willie Harris, what a nice day. Bounced around a little bit, kind of a journeyman at this point in his career, but a short, quick swing, and he's a tough out left-handed G. Teixeira with a nice effort and a quick reaction, but that ball is smoked right on by. And now 3 hits for Willie Harris today. Broke in with the Orioles back in 2001, bounced around the White Sox for 4 years, Boston, Atlanta, Washington, and now a Met.
Ronnie Paulino takes a strike. Line drive to center field, a base hit for Paulino as Harris moves to second.
Well, breaking ball from Nova, hanger middle of the plate. Paulino not doing a whole lot with it, staying up the middle, driving this ball. A little single, creating a little havoc in offense now for Nova and the Yankees.
From above, the 10th hit for the Mets against Nova. 92 pitches for the young right-hander. And here's Jason Pridey with an RBI single, a stolen base, also walked. That's right. Mets 2 for 8 today with runners in scoring position. Ground ball right side. Teixeira flips to Nova, and that will do it. So for the Mets, no runs, 3 hits. 2 men left. The double play big for the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Game and the most in HD, call 1-800-DIRECTV, and that's Citi Field across the river, and the Yankees will be there in July for the second leg of the Subway Series. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning in the heart of the Yankee order. Teixeira, A-Rod, and Cano against Mike Pelfrey. 3-10-0, beating 1-5-1. Off-speed pitch for a strike. Teixeira's 0 for 2. He grounded to first and popped to short. Foul back.
You know, Michael, I'd like to send a shout out. We talked about Gary Carter last inning. You know, Don Larson, the great Yankee pitcher, threw a perfect game in the World Series back in the 50s, fell and broke 5 ribs and punctured his lung, and he's in the hospital and recovering, and certainly wish Don Larson a speedy recovery. I've got that news from my good friend, from Andrew Levy, Wish Here We're Here Productions, that works with Don Larson, and Andrew texted me and let me know that Don is doing better, but took a pretty nasty spill and broke 5 ribs and punctured his lung.
Well, our best goes out to Don and his family. Always a fixture here in New York and at the stadium for Old Timers Day. Swing and a miss. Teixeira down on strikes.
This might be one of the best games. Pelfrey's been pitching better of late. We talked about his May numbers. I'm saying about a guy with good stuff, at times very good stuff, but really hadn't figured it out in the sense of pitching. I'll say this, David, he is pitching today. He's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, good movement on a good fastball, not great fastball, throwing his curveball, his slider, and the changeup. Today he's a 4-pitch pitcher up to this point,
and 4 strikeouts.
Both sides of the plate with this breaking ball too, as you said before. He can front door it to right-handed batters, and that's the way he's going to have to pitch.
Ground ball left side, a base hit for A-Rod. He's 2 for 3.
You know, when I said about a guy, there's plenty of players, and I was one of them as a pitcher. You get to the big leagues on raw stuff. Here's a slider, and Alex got the first one, put himself in a good count. Pelfrey having to come back a little bit more of the plate. Good base hit to left. You know, where you get, maybe you're one of them, David. I know you had unbelievable electric stuff certainly coming up. You kind of reinvented yourself in different arm angles that you eventually have to pitch based on your stuff not being plus. You know, a 7 arm velocity wise, 94 better.
You know, Pelfrey, when he came up, was a mid-90s fastball guy. That's why he was the #1 draft.
Pitch to Cano is a strike.
But he's been a strike throwing machine today too. Really going after the hitters. Perennially, he keeps the ball in the ballpark. More of a ground ball type pitcher, although his numbers have been elevated this year. And you see 56 strikes and 27 balls out of his 83 pitches. That's an excellent ratio of strikes to balls.
Moves a little bit more outside, the count 1-1. Yankees 0 for 11 today with runners on base, 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Keeping it away from Cano on the count 2-1. Cano 0 for 2 today, and he's 3 for his last 21. His average down to 272. He does have the 9 homers and the 27 ribbies.
The difference I've seen now between Cano this year and last year, he's just not getting as good of balls to hit. You know, he's swinging at a few more bad pitches, a little more anxious this year as opposed to last year. Good swing there and a pitch down the middle, and Robbie a little frustrated that he missed that pitch. But it's just, you know, Robbie's never going to be in a high on base percentage, guys. You see this pitch right there, and he's right on it. Just pulled off a little bit. You can see the frustration on his face. Really wanted to drive this ball. Everything's still there, though. The natural swing, the good balance. a supremely talented hitter, but this year just a little more anxious, not quite getting as good a pitches to hit as he did last year, and that's reflective of his numbers.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. A-Rod is at first. That could be 2. There's 1. Not in time.
I agree with you, David. You got a guy with a beautiful swing like Cano. When he's struggling as he is of late, here a little flip. Maybe Turner took a little bit too much time for Cano having enough speed to beat that ball out. You get spoiled. There's a bang play there. He's on easily beating it out. You get spoiled with the success and the great swing and you know, the compliments around baseball. Not just people who watch it, but other players marvel at his ability. And you see him miss, and I agree with you. I think you go back even when he first got called up, very anxious, really didn't take a whole lot of walks. Last year, 57 walks was really a big turnaround. I think would help him be more patient.
Here's Posada. He walked and singled to left center. He got now trying to double, trying to stretch it to a double. Pounding out some copy that you'll be reading tomorrow or a little bit later on online.
The Scribes. Michael, former member of the Scribes.
That's right.
Do they pound out copy now?
That's an old-time term. I mean, it is copy that they're generating, but you're certainly not taking a piece of paper and then having it run and sent to the home office. Got the guys that cover the Yankees, guys and gals that cover the Mets, and they're all in the same press box.
He ripped me. No. He ripped me. That one. There he is.
Which one is it?
He ripped me. He ripped me. He ripped me. He ripped me. And rightly so. I deserve to be ripped. I mean, I have no problem with that.
Hot shot, the 7. Turner's right there. And he gets Posada for the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 6 full. It's 3-1 Mets. By Jaguar. See how Jaguar outperforms the competition at JaguarPerforms.com. By Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Yankees. And by Mazda. Zoom. Moving right along here at Yankee Stadium as we go to the 7th inning. Mets up 3-1. Jose Reyes leads off, and he swings through a high pitch. Count 0-1. On the Cadillac scoreboard, 3-10-0, leading 1-6-1. Reyes 0 for 3. Popped up. Long run for Alex Rodriguez, but he runs out of room.
Reyes looked like this whole series, certainly wanting to have a good year no matter who you play, but certainly in the Subway Series, Yankee Stadium, pending free agency, show off your talents. It's a great place to do it.
That's amazing if you think about it. It seems like he's been around forever. He's just 27 years old, so he enters the free agent market as a real commodity. See Luis Ayala warming up. The 0-2, 1-2.
Now this is where Nova, if he could bear down and get some quick outs. I know that proverbial fire bells go off at 100 pitches. He's 2 pitches away from it. A couple starts ago against Texas, got into the 8th inning. And 7 1/3.
You know, another learning step in the maturation of Ivan Nova. You know, he's really been banged around a little bit, giving up 10 hits. Still in this game. A couple points during the last couple innings where it looked like he was going to get on the ropes and maybe even get knocked out of this game, but he's really hung in there fairly well. And you see strikes to balls. It's a good ratio, 63-37, even though he has given up 10 hits. He's minimized the damage, and he's still got his team in this game and waiting for the Yankee offense to get something going.
2-2. Punch foul.
You mentioned the 10 hits. You know, 10 singles. He's not getting belted around. Extra bases. This hasn't been a good start. No doubt about it.
Two. So Reyes has worked the count full. You don't want to put him on base, then it's a track meet. On deck, Daniel Murphy. Nova brings up at 94. First in hits in the majors, doubles, triples, stolen base mark at 17.
10th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Going to be a very tough play. Got him! Great shovel by Teixeira, and Nova finding the bag to get the speedy Reyes.
Wow. As soon as that little number passed Nova, you see he couldn't make the play. This is an absolute great play. You have a fast runner able to catch the ball. The key to that right there was he was able to get the ball quick enough from Teixeira, get his head down, make sure that he was on the bag. Tough play. Running in one direction and getting the ball behind. Look at on the Yesmo here. Teixeira, nice little shovel pass, keeps his eye on the ball. Now there, caught it. Beautiful. Nice play.
Here's Daniel Murphy. Count 0-1. Now 0-2.
Nice movement. He's shown a couple different fastballs today, and you mentioned earlier, David, that it's a four-seamer, natural life, really able to cut it straight, ride it through the zone and sink it. Just that one pitch fastball really is 3 if you have the ability to command that movement.
Yeah, I talked to Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach, and he said no, he's just cross-seaming it. He's just got natural life, natural movement. See there, he kind of overthrows a curveball there, but he's got an excellent curveball to go with just a naturally gifted moving fastball that he holds cross seam the majority of the time. He's learning to throw the changeup more and more. We did see him get hurt a little bit with the changeup earlier in the game, but for the most part, you see him moving the grips around. For the most part, he's been solid. And this Mets lineup, you know, is station to station.
He averages 90 pitches per start. He has 108 today. His previous high was 100. Grounded to first. Teixeira gobbles it up for the second out. What a weapon Teixeira is at first base. You just know if it's hitting his vicinity, he's probably going to come up with it.
Not only that, Michael, you're absolutely right, but what has elevated the confidence for the guys around the infield, knowing that you don't have to throw a perfect strike every time for him to be able to catch the ball across the diamond. What a vacuum.
There's Carlos Beltran. And there's a base hit. Into the gap, giving chase is Granderson, cuts the ball off, spins and fires. But Beltran in there with a 2-out double. And that's going to do it for Nova. So Joe was going at bat to try to get him through 7. But with Luis Ayala warming up and ready, Joe has not yet signaled. He's going to take the ball, and that will do it for Nova. He'll get a nice hand, and Ayala will come on to face Bay. Runner at second, 2 outs. Yankees trailing 3-1. We're at the top of the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium. Ayala against Bay when we get back. In our music and computer world, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, Ivan Nova, his day is done after serving up that double to Carlos Beltran as Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. So Luis Ayala comes on in 8 games so far this year, 14 hits in 10 2/3, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1.69 ERA.
Pitched a perfect 9th inning yesterday. 2 strikeouts. Nice pickup by the Yankees, doing a good job. Better Luis Ayala been around.
So Jason Bay 2 for 3. Runner at second is Beltran. Yankee defense plays Bay straight away. And there's a strike from Ayala. Bay lifetime against Ayala, 3 for 8. That's 375. Lofted to right center field. Dickerson is there, and they'll put it away, so Ayala comes on and gets the job done. No runs are hit, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6.5 time for the 7th inning stretch, Mets lead the Yankees 3-1, but we're going to stay right here in the Bronx to honor America.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with calm. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And Jack and John and Kim on the postgame show. Today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Mike Pelfrey, number 2, Willie Harris, number 3, Curtis Granderson, number 4, Fernando Martinez. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. So Mike Pelfrey takes it to the bottom of the 7th inning. On the Cadillac scoreboard, you see 3-11-0, leading 1-6-1. It'll be the bottom third of the order for the Yankees. Gardner, Dickerson, and Cervelli. And remember, if you get Pelfrey out of there, the Met bullpen has been lights out in the month of May. Under 1.5 ERA. And we saw that on Friday, how good they were. Pelfrey deals a strike to Gardner.
Gardner didn't like that first pitch. Curveball down the zone. You said it, David, all day. Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, has been calling that low strike.
Doesn't give that one off the plate. The count 1-1. And the pitch. Hot shot between the legs of Pelfrey and right into center field. Pelfrey barking at himself as Gardner picks up a leadoff single. Let's check out tomorrow's starting pitchers in the Yankees Blue Jays series, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios and Network ahead. Carlos Villanueva, 1-0, 1.48 against Bartolo Colon, a must-see. 2-2, 3.16. Coverage begins at 6, and first pitch right around 7:07.
Through the wickets. Brett Gardner. That's hard to do because Pelfrey's wickets were pretty close together. It's lucky he didn't get it off the kneecap.
So that's the 7th hit for the Yankees. That's going to bring up Dickerson. Dickerson with a double his last time up. He's 1 for 2. The double went to right center. Got action in the Met bullpen. Terry Collins getting his relievers ready. Dueling chants here at the stadium. Let's go Yankees, let's go Mets. And you see one of the two left-handers for the Mets, Tim Burdack, getting ready. And standing watching is Pedro Beato. Hitters count the 2-0. Now 3-0. Can the Yankees string together some hits? Can they rally? If Dickerson gets on, that allows Girardi to allow Cervelli to bunt. Strike.
Dickerson broke in with the Reds in 08. 31 games, he hit .304 with 6 home runs. Followed that up the next year in 09 with the Reds in 97 games and hit .275.
Gardner dives back. Pelfrey paying a lot of attention to Gardner, and my best guess is he probably is not going to be going.
And those signs are coming from the bench, and you saw the signal giving the 5-1 is usually the signal from the bench as opposed to just a single signal for a pitch. You see that's the fastball in. So somebody on the bench is responsible for controlling the running game.
And he ends up walking Dickerson. That puts the Yankees in the situation they want, as Cervelli can now bunt. Dan Warthen quickly out to the mound. Today after the postgame, catch a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper breaks down this Subway Series. Then after, it's Yankees on Deck presented by Blimpie as Russell Martin shows his skills behind the plate and Robinson Cano takes you through a day of spring training. It all starts after the postgame. It's only on Yes.
Well, depending upon what kind of bunt play the conservative play is to have the third baseman crash, you're going to want to bunt to third base. If you're Cervelli, now to combat that high elevated fastball, stay on the outside part of the plate. You know this as a pitcher. And if the mindset in Cervelli is to push the ball to the left side, well, to negate that, you'd throw away. Harder to bunt the ball to third base if the pitch is away. Maybe a wheel play from Jose Reyes.
And Cervelli gets plunked. So he tried to go up and in, but he plunked Cervelli, and the bases are now loaded. And we'll see where it got Cervelli. Looks like he got him in the shoulder. So they're going to keep him in the game. The Yankees have the bases loaded and nobody out.
The last thing Pelfrey wants to do is trying to bust him up and in to get a pop-up, and you see the ball just gets away from him. Cervelli, with his share of injuries in his young career, probably saw another major one flash through his eyes as that ball came towards him, but luckily stayed low enough to take it off the shoulder.
All right, so the Yankees are set up. They have not been able to get big hits of late, except in their blowout wins. There's a tight game. They're trailing 3-1, bottom of the seventh inning. It's all set up for them right here. With the bases loaded, nobody on the top of the order coming up. First up, Jeter. Derek is 1 for 3. You've got good speed on the bases. Gardner at third, Dickerson at second, and Cervelli is at first. He runs well for a catcher. Big crowd getting loud. Jeter right back up the middle, through for a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Dickerson. He'll score. It's a 2-run game-tying single for Derek Jeter.
Well, Derek Jeter has hurt the Mets over the years in these interleague games. Up the middle pass, Pelfrey isn't able to get a handle on it. Thought Reyes maybe been able to knock it down because he was not. Here comes the speedy Dickerson, tying this ball game up. Exciting here at the stadium. Derek coming through. Big hit, 2 big RBIs. Saw the Granderson, Gardner telling Dickerson to get down.
Well, that's going to do it for Pelfrey, who pitched well. A ball in the 5-hole by Gardner went into center field, and that started this inning. And everything else unraveled for Pelfrey and the Mets. So now the Yankees have runners on first and second. Nobody out. And they will bring in the left-hander, Burdak, to face Granderson. Game is tied at 3. It's getting good. Stick around. So let's spin the dial. 29-75, 25 away, and he's 10 behind Sam Rice for 28th place on the all-time hits list. And it is the captain's quest, but today it's about beating the Mets. First and second, Burdak comes on to face Curtis Granderson. Granderson bunts. It's a beauty to third. Willie Harris makes the play. So the sacrifice successful, and you scored 5-3. That surprised you guys a little?
Well, this is Michael Kay's favorite play right here.
Guy second in American League in home runs.
I know you love this, Michael.
I don't mind it that much late in the game, but I don't know if I want a guy with 16 home runs to do it. But now you're losing Teixeira's bat, which isn't bad because you get A-Rod, who's great with the bases loaded. But that's what that bunt did. Now they set up the double play, losing Teixeira.
Well, nonetheless, it was executed perfectly by Granderson. You make the third baseman field it. You bunt it right down the third base line.
Forced the hand here. Terry Collins will probably go out and get Burdack for Pedro Beato. Be my righty on righty matchup for Teixeira or for Alex.
So Gardner will be at, well, check that, Cervelli is at third and Jeter's at second.
And that's the look of a starting pitcher that realizes he's on the hook now. He had a 3-1 lead. All of a sudden, he's in the dugout staring at what may be a loss.
So here's Alex Rodriguez coming out with the bases loaded. This year, he's already had one. That was in Baltimore. He has 22 on his career. Significant? Yes. The most ever hit by one player is 23 by Lou Gehrig. So he has an opportunity to tie the Iron Horse right here and also, more importantly, give the Yankees a lead. So Burdack is going to depart, and they are going to bring in the hard-throwing kid from New York City, Pedro Beato. Beato against A-Rod when we return. And the wheels are turning. So Terry Collins brings in his hard-throwing New York City kid, and look how great Beato's been. 18 and 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts. He's yet to allow a run, and he's going to face Alex Rodriguez.
Power, fastball, very good curveball. You're going to see mid-90s velocity from Beato.
A-Rod 2 for 3 so far today. Cervelli at third, Jeter at second, Teixeira is at first. One man out, bottom of the 7th inning. Slow roller. It's going to be a run. It's going to be a base hit. It's going to be a 4-3 Yankee lead. There's no defense for that.
Well, I hate to say it, but that's baseball. We've got a great home run hitter, power, Alex Rodriguez. Pelfrey, obviously dejected, as good as he was. How quickly this game can turn. Walk, the batsman, CNI single. Good sack bunt. Granderson set up the force at any base, and now here you got a little swinging bunt about 55 feet down the line. The Yankees take the lead. Little two-seamer in on the hand. Looked like Alex was absolutely anticipating that good fastball. Ended up getting it off the end of the bat. Willie Harris just could not make a play. Here inside, off the end of the bat. Yanks up 4-3.
And that's going to bring up Robinson Cano. Bases still loaded. 1 out. Yankees have taken the lead 4-3. Way upstairs. Cano is 0 for 3 today. 3 for his last 22. And the count 2-0. Now Paulina wants to settle down. Pedro Beato. Joppa Chamberlain getting ready.
I said that Beato, he'd brush it up in the mid-90s. Just looking at some fastballs, 91 miles an hour. He did have some DL time with tendonitis in his elbow earlier this year.
Hot shot, a base hit to right field. Jeter scores. The runners move up. It's an RBI single for Cano. And the Yankees lead 5-3. So on a team that's struggled for big hits, the Yankees have come up with them here in the 7th.
We talked about Cano getting good pitches to hit. He got one right here. Middle away, outer third. Goes out full extension. Right on the button. Picks up his 28th RBI on the year. And that's the Robbie Cano we saw last year. You can see the look on his face. Yes, a little relief, finally.
Here's Posada as the Yankees have batted around. Still 1 man out. So Mike Pelfrey coasting along. And then it all unravels here in the 7th. He's the pitcher of record on the losing side. Posada 1 for 2 with a walk. And Beato deals a breaking ball strike. (5-3) Yankees lead. And the count 0-2. That's the line on Pelfrey. Fouled out.
Jorge, 0-2 count there, getting the pitch to hit from Beato. Opportunity for any pitcher to expand. That ball was right down the middle.
Strike 3. Posada got looking and arguing things over with Eric Cooper.
This has been all day. David Cone, you were saying earlier that that ball, that granted, Polito caught it in the dirt. You really can't go by that. And I do like umpires that don't call a ball or strike based on where it's caught. I don't know. There's a big 12-6 curveball from Beato. Posada, this ball is it's an up-down issue. All day, Eric Cooper calling those low pitches strikes.
Well, Terry Collins going to go for another left-hander to face Gardner with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Trying to keep it right here at 5-3. They are looking for more, as now Terry Collins will use his fourth pitcher this inning. It's Pat Mish. So Mish will come on. You see his numbers. And he is going to face Brett Gardner with the bases loaded. Yanks 3 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Gardner swings and misses.
An unusual ratio for any bullpen. Mets have 3 left-handers. Mike O'Connor, we just saw Tim Burdack. Out here, Pat Mish.
Swing and a miss in the count, 0-2. Gardner started this inning with a ground ball right between the wickets of Mike Pelfrey. A game of inches. You got that to open up the inning. Then you have the slow roller by Alex Rodriguez. And as they say, that's baseball, Susan. So it happens. The 0-2. 1-2.
Well, that's why so often, Michael, you really can't explain many of the aspects of this great game, because there's much that goes into it outside of the obvious of really talented players. There's things that happen in a game that you really can't explain.
That one is looped into left field. It is a base hit. Teixeira scores. A-Rod scores. Cano moves to third. It's a 2-run double for Gardner. And the Yankees lead 7-3.
And the beat goes on for the Mets as Brett Gardner fights it off. Inside out, his second hit of the night, of the day rather. And this is about placement. Not hit hard. It's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. Just inside the line. Watch this ball check out too. Easy double. Pedro Beato now has an ERA on the year. That's the first run he's given up all year long. Earned run, that is.
And the pitch to Chris Dickerson is outside. Dickerson with a big walk following the single by Gardner at the beginning of this inning. So Dickerson, the 11th man to come to the plate, as the Yankees have put a 6th spot on the board here in the 7th. Second and third for the Yankees with 2 outs. Count 2-0.
Not to state the obvious, but when talking about baseball, about things you can't explain, I'm talking about the swinging bunt, a ball that hits a rock or hits something in the grass and kicks left or right. The broken bat single, you know, strategies within as hitting coaches, pitching coaches. You go through all these scout reports, you look at the strength and weakness of hitters and pitchers and know what they're bringing. And at the end, what'd you say? That's baseball?
That's baseball, Susan.
You know, and you go back to Granderson's bunt in this inning. Kind of set up the big inning. You know, a lot of times you're playing for 1 run, you end up scoring 6.
Did he hold up? No, he did not. So the count 2-2.
Take a look. The load, the swing. Definitely a swing.
With very short arms.
Gator arms.
That one is served into shallow left. Giving chase is Reyes. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. 2 more runs will score. Dickerson with 2 ribbies. An awful inning for the Mets as the Yankees have now taken a 9-3 lead.
Well, Dickerson got his first double as a Yankee earlier in the game. You couldn't have placed it better. Slider down and away, running away from him. Jose Reyes couldn't get to it. Jason Bay couldn't get to it. 2 RBIs. Off the end of the bat from Chris Dickerson. Yankees blowing it open now, 9-3.
Granderson had a little 7-iron with a little slice on it. This is a little sand wedge from about 87 yards. Checking up. Boy, he's just a Murphy's Law inning for the Mets.
So Cervelli, who got plunked earlier in the inning as he was squaring to bunt from Pelfrey, will come up to the plate again. 9-3 Yankees. Count 1-1. Terry Collins has had his team play good, crisp baseball of late, and an inning like this is not too pleasing to him. Grounded to third. Willie Harris boots it. Everybody's safe. And the nightmare continues.
Well, I'll take it, David, but you just said it a little while ago. Maybe Michael did. Murphy's Law is applying off the end of the bat. You got a little dribbler in front of Willie Harris coming up. Cervelli, not a very fast runner. You see the ball just kick off the heel of his glove. He may even had a shot. Seemed like he kind of gave up on it, thinking that Cervelli easily would have had this beat. So he got it off the back heel, the pinky part of his heel of his glove. E5.
Well, here's Jeter. He got the big hit in this game. That single up the middle that drove in 2 tied the game at 3. The Yankees have not looked back since. Count 1-0.
You know, that's what happens in a long inning. A lot of things go wrong. The next thing you know, the fielders are on their heels. Then an error's made, and you look on the scoreboard today. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the Yankees got a snowman.
Punched out towards second. Dropped there by Turner. Finds it. Fires. Just got him. As the inning is finally over for the Mets. It took 30 minutes the bottom of the 7th. Yankees scored 8 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 2 left. It's all Yankees. Obliterated Al on the scoreboard here. They showed on the Hyundai scoreboard it's 9-3 Yanks. They showed, you know, the highlight tape of Al's career, and then they they showed your golf swing out, which I think is fine.
You know, I know you and Flaherty were kicking me on. I didn't watch it, but boy, that was an awful swing. John was right.
Pitches outside to Fernando Martinez, who an 8-run 7th inning has turned this into a bit of a laugher for the Yankees, but not for the Mets. That was not a good inning for them. 30 minutes it took the bottom of the 7th inning, and it was worth every minute for the Yankees, who needed an inning like that. Now, by putting that many runs on the board, that allows them to keep Ayala in the game and save Jabba and Robertson for another day.
It's a great point by Kubieni. Got tack on runs. 6-run lead. Let's see how this plays out. Obviously, there's 6 more outs.
Now, if you're Ivan Nova, you're beating yourself up for giving up the double to Beltran because you can't get the win. Ayala came on to get that final out of the 7th inning. Right now, he's the pitcher of record.
Well, hopefully Nova continues to really battle through those innings, show Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild that he's deserving to get the extra batter. There was 2 outs in the inning. It's his first extra base hit he gave up.
Strike 3. Martinez down looking. Hey, you got to stick around after the last out for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and John Flaherty break down all the action from the finale with the Mets, including updates from around the major leagues. Plus, Kim Jones will get the reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame only on Yes.
You know, getting back to what Michael said, David, I don't know how you were when you were in a situation like that. You were down. You had 1 bad inning in the 2nd inning. You have an opportunity to get through the 7. That, I mean, I don't know. I'd had like an adrenaline rush to kind of have at least that look. Give me a chance to finish this inning.
Ground ball to third. Alex Rodriguez gets Turner. 2 outs.
Well, Al, that 1 out is the difference between whether he's on record as to winning this game. As you see, the Yankees scored 8 in the bottom of the 7th. So yeah, it is, as a starting pitcher, you always just give me a chance to stay in this game and have a chance to win it. 1 more out. And as it is now, you just get a pat on the back. Nice job, you kept your team in the game, but you're 1 out away from winning this game.
Swing and a miss. Harris is 3 for 3 today. Count 1-1 from Luis Ayala. The Yankees hold on. They would have won their 5th out of the last 6 games following a 6-game losing streak.
Watch here before the at bat. Willie Harris, a little history here. This is, he's getting into the bat. He's looking at Cervelli. Watch him. He gives a little sign with the changeup. Sometimes you want to get to your catcher so you don't shake to your 3rd pitch. First 2 pitches were changeups to Willie Harris.
Isn't there a concern now that somebody's going to see him do that on the Mets side?
Well, you know what? For many years of watching Andy Pettit, and I know when Roger was here, he would get to Posada. See right here? He's looking at Cervelli, knowing that Willie Harris is not looking.
Slow roller towards second. Cano is there. Nice easy 1-2-3 inning for Luis Ayala. He gets the Mets down in order 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 9-3 Yankees. Hot-hitting Jose Bautista and the Blue Jays. Coverage starts at 6 with Audi batting practice today. Then the Tri-State Ford pregame as Granderson swings and misses. Then, you know who comes into town? Paul O'Neill. He'll join me for the call. Blue Jays, Yankees. It all starts tomorrow night at 6, only on Yes. Granderson, high fly ball left center. Pridey is there for the first out. And you saw on the Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees are leading this one 9-3. Here's Mark Teixeira. He was intentionally walked in the Yankees' 8-run 7. 0 for 3 today. Mish deals a strike. After this, the Mets will head to Chicago to play the Cubs. And as I mentioned, the Yankees then host the Blue Jays. Popped up. Willie Harris for the second out. And that's going to bring up Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez has 3 hits, and only one of them has left the infield. But his hit the last time, a slow roller to third base, was a big one. Picked up an RBI, and it gave the Yankees the lead. Mish deals outside. And the count 2-1.
We've had some great shots from the blip today. Yeah, a little traffic on the GW, Al. You might have a little trouble getting home today.
Was there?
Yeah, look a little jammed up on the GW bridge.
Sunday?
We'll get another shot of that maybe if you ask up there real nicely. It's about the time Phil Rizzuto to be already over that bridge, right? About the 8th inning.
Heading back to Hillside.
Heard there was a lot of traffic outside the yard yesterday after the game.
You heard. Oh, that's right.
Thanks. Yes, indeed there was.
There's that bridge that Al's going to be on in a moment. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Get every MLB game and the most in HD. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Wait a minute. While hopefully we get it. Look at going to New Jersey. It's clear. Coming back. Westchester, you'll have your problem.
Oh, I'll be fine. The 3-2. But John Sterling and David told me that yesterday there was, I guess, some kind of fire drill outside.
Well, there was a fire or some sort of commotion right in front of the stadium, in front of Gate 2, that just jammed it up in all directions, and took about an hour to get home back to the Upper East Side for me.
The 3-2. Grounded. Just foul.
Could have walked.
Well, you would have gotten home before an hour.
It was
if you walked.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what, it was a prime case for mass transit. Hop on the subway. Great way to get back and forth from the ballpark.
Did you ever do that as a player?
I did. Yeah. Yes, I did. Only when I was going good.
You don't want to hear it from the... I hear you. It was much easier to take the train up
That's
here.
the way to do it right there.
No disguise, David, when you took it?
No.
Because he was going good.
Al, have you ever been on a train in your life?
Oh, stop. What's wrong?
I'm just asking.
Yes. I would take the train up here because it was much easier, but not really up to Shea. The 7 wasn't as convenient.
Ground ball and through for a base hit. A 4-hit day for Alex Rodriguez.
Well, Things are going well for Alex Rodriguez. This looked like a routine ground ball to third base. It was just far enough out of the reach of Willie Harris, a guy who's really a utility player all over the field. Let's take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam. Just not getting the best jump. Ball kicking away from him just off the tip of his glove.
Broken bat.
4 hits for Alex.
And really hasn't hit one right on the screws.
Living right. Law of averages evening out for A-Rod today.
Second 4-hit game of the year. And Cano takes a pitch inside. Cano with an RBI single in the 7th inning. 1 for 4. (9-3) Yankees lead, bottom of the 8th inning. Rubber game of this 3-game set. High drive down the right field line. Giving chase is Martinez, and it's a foul ball.
Have you ever taken the train up here?
To the ballpark?
Yeah.
No, but I always take the train to the radio show at Madison Square Garden. Best way to travel in the city. Love the train.
So do I.
Ground ball right side. Grabbed there by Turner. And he throws out Cano for the final out of the 8th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the 9th. It's 9-3 Yankees.
For GMC presents Center Stage. Moore shares stories of his days on SNL and in Hollywood, does some uncanny celebrity impersonations, and discusses his new book. Don't miss Center Stage with Jay Moore tonight at 8 o'clock, only on Yes. How'd you like Mr. Moore?
I liked it. It was very funny. Very funny.
A good show?
Yeah.
Great show.
It's a good show.
I watched last night. Was it on? It had to be last night.
Yeah. It was premiering this week.
Funny.
Lance Pendleton will get the call for the Yankees to get the final 3 outs. And he's going to face Ronnie Paulino. There's a strike. 9-13-1, leading 3-11-1. just missed outside.
Lance Pendleton was recalled before yesterday's game, making his second stint with the Yanks. He was optioned on May 11th when they reinstated Luis Ayala.
There's a ground ball ashort. Jeter will get Paulino for the first out.
It was Derek Jeter's big knock up the middle that got the game tied 3-3 back when this was a game. Jeter with a nice day. And then the floodgates opened.
Count 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Good change up there. Lance Pendleton. Last year went combined 12-5 between AA Trenton and AAA Scranton.
Grounded foul. Priddy 1 for 2 with an RBI. Also walked. Yankees might be kicking themselves because Joe Girardi admitted today that the game 1 loss in this series was a tough one. They had so many opportunities. They wasted a good pitching performance by Freddie Garcia, and they got shut down by the knuckler of R.A. Dickey. Lost that one 2-1, or this could be a series they feel really good about where they might have been sweeping, but I guess you take 2 out of 3. That one's popped up. Shallow center. And Granderson's there. And especially you take 2 out of 3 when you're losing 3-1 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. So you can't allow yourself to play the what-if game.
And I think that matchup, you mentioned Freddie Garcia pitching a fine ball game himself, but R.A. Dickey came up with the best start of his season other than his opening start against the Marlins. His first game back in April. He went 6 innings, only gave up the 1 run.
There's a strike. Count 0-1.
The Yankees have to feel pretty good about where they are, considering that it wasn't too long ago they had a 6-game losing streak. Boston came in here and swept them.
That one's popped up. Shallow center. Granderson's there, and that'll do it. Ball game. Put it on the left side. The Yankees win this one 9-3. So the first leg of the Subway Series goes to the New York Yankees with an 8-run